Dr. Lori, it's so great to have you back here on CT Style.
Great to be here, Teresa. How are you?
I'm terrific.
Closets today.
Yeah, so we are celebrating the 80s. What stands out in that decade for you?
Oh, what stands out in that decade for me is the artwork of artists like Eric Fischel and Keith Haring, and sort of the shock of the new. We're going to show off all of our moles and all the stuff that isn't great about our society in the 1980s. So, and what you also find is sort of the way in which we have this conversation of looking at ourselves, all different ways, with everything from the preppy handbook to our music, our fashion. We really start to take a good look at America in the 80s.
It was a really unique decade. So we have some memorabilia. We have some pictures of it that we're going to put up on the screen. The first one is an engagement picture of Prince Charles and Lady Diana on a mug. Quite a collector's item.
Collectibles became collectibles in the 1980s. The idea of that wedding in 1981, everybody that Saturday morning got near their TV set to watch, the prince and the commoner princess, get married in 1981. So that was a big way in which we really started to move into being sort of part of a global conversation in the world. But Americans were all about Lady Diana. So those collectible mugs more and more are getting pretty popular in the 1980s, and today they sell for about $45 to $65 for one like that one.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
so up next we have a Reagan Bush campaign button.
Now, political collectibles are always more collectible during an election year, right? So remember, Reagan Bush, we're in an election year for the presidential election, and you're looking at, again, a very unusual presidential election this year. But what you're seeing with Reagan Bush was basically sort of, steady as we go kind of thing. That and other collectibles for the political arena will increase in value during an election year about 15%. So now's the time to sell your political collectibles. That one's worth about $150.
Wow, okay, good one there. So up next, we know it's an Olympic year, but we're going to bring you back to an ABC toy news van. They were covering the Olympics.
That's right. They were covering the Winter Olympics, but toys, of course, in the 1980s, and the way in which toys and technology come together in the 1980s is really pretty important. That news van is one from the Winter Olympics in 1980, and it's worth about $45, but one that you really don't see. It's pretty rare, and of course, WTNH and stations like it covering the Olympics. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else do you have with you today, Dr. Lori?
Oh, so I was talking about technology and the way in which technology is connected. I'm going to hold something up, and I don't know, Teresa, you're a lot younger than I am. I don't know if you even know what I'm doing now.
That's a Walkman and a cassette. I totally had them. Absolutely.
But I'm going to take this funny Madonna thing, this cassette. I'm going to actually put it in here.
Oh, there you go.
A lot of people are surprised that the Walkmans and the cassette tapes are making a comeback, sort of like the records. This isn't the first Walkman, but the Walkmans were really the way in which we can have our personal music with us all the time. We take that for granted today with our iPhone 6s, but basically a Walkman like this one could be worth as much as $250 on the secondary market today.
No kidding.
Yeah, music is really big, and what's making an even bigger comeback is actually good old-fashioned record albums. Record albums, like some of these images, you may not even recognize these people. This, of course, is John Cougar Mellencamp, before he was just John Cougar, and Cyndi Lauper.
Wow, those are classics. Oh, and Thriller.
And the Go-Go's. The Go-Go's. I sang these all through Hampton High School. I hate to admit it, but it's true. And of course, the album of albums was Michael Jackson's Thriller.
That's fantastic. Dr. Lori, thank you so much for being here. We're going to check you out over on drloriv.com. Always fun having you on the show.
Thanks so much.